So the Dirty Duckie has issued this challenge.
Do you think that you can build an automatic bamboo farm without using any quartz? If so,
Well, Ducky, challenge accepted. So we actually have two designs in mind that meets the criteria of the challenge as set out by Ducky. And at the end of the video, we will use science.
I'm gonna have to science the out of this.
To see how effective the designs are against traditional bamboo farms. Firstly, what can't we use in our designs? Well, because quartz is banned, that means daylight detectors, comparators, and observers are all off the table. So a traditional bamboo farm will involve a row of observers detecting when the bamboo gets to a certain height, which triggers the pistons, which knocks off the bamboo onto the ground, which then is collected in the collection system. So that is still the basic concept that we are trying to go around with. Now, design 1 to meet the challenge is going to use a simple redstone torch. The design is very, very similar, along with just a row of redstone on the back. Now, obviously, the redstone torch is burnt out and not active. However, when it actually grows up, it will act like an observer, resetting the torch, which will set off redstone signals. So let's wait and see what I mean by that here. As you can see, it acts just like as an observer would. The redstone torch gets reset by the growing bamboo, which sets off a redstone signal, which then sets off the pistons, and away we go. The design I'm more excited about though is the one behind me here. Because it is. Behold the power of the humble chicken. That's right. I've designed a chicken-powered bamboo farm. Chicken-powered. The idea is actually really simple. It's the same setup, the same design with the pistons, but it's triggered by a chicken. Hello, Jim. Jim. And basically, the chicken will walk back and forth over the pressure plate, sending at random intervals, sending a redstone signal along the redstone line, which of course will set off the pistons. Jim, please walk across the thing now, if you don't mind. Jim, walk across the other side. Thank you. And you can see it sets it off. Now, a couple of notes if you're going to build this design. One, if you're using glass at the front, don't have glass all the way down. It needs to be solid blocks, because sometimes the chicken, as cute as they are, will actually stand on the pressure plate, leaving the dispensers all the way out. And that will force some of the bamboo into the glass block and not fall onto the ground, which is what we don't want. The second thing to keep in mind is don't use a wooden pressure plate. The reason being is that Jimmy Boy here likes leaving chicken butt nuggets around, and if a chicken butt nugget, aka eggs, stand on a wooden pressure plate, it'll keep it depressed, which again will keep the dispensers, will keep the pistons out and therefore limiting the growth opportunities. Fortunately, stone and heavier pressure plates, eggs have no effect. So that's the two designs, and they are both effective, as you can see. No quartz required in either design. Very simple and easy to come up with. Now the question is though, what is more effective? The old school observer system, or the traditional observer system, the redstone torch system, which sort of operates on the same sort of style, or the chicken? Now, it's obvious that both quartz-free designs work and will produce you bamboo automatically. How effective they are, though, against the traditional observer model. Now, to make sure we have an even playing field, I've established an experiment that we're going to use. Now, obviously, the conditions need to be the same across all three farms. So in this case, what we're going for here is that the growing area for the bamboo will be 4 blocks wide, and 3 blocks tall. The pistons will be placed on the second block up, and the collection method will be via hopper minecart dropping the goodies into a hopper. All 3 farms operate on these basic principles. The only change in methodology is how the pistons are powered and when they are powered. With that, all we now need is 1 hour of time, and then we will see which farm was the most effective. Now, before we go on, that's right, stop. Pause the video. Leave a comment below with what you think the results will be of this experiment. For mine, I believe that the observer farm will come out to be the most effective farm still. I just think that's the way it's going to work. I think the redstone farm will come in pretty close to the observer model because it sort of works on the same principle. And I think, as quirky as and as fun as it is to have a chicken powered farm, I think it's going to lag pretty well behind the other farms. But with that, let's give it an hour and see what happens. Boop. So, the hour is up, and I've got to say, I'm actually surprised. I'm really surprised here. So let's have a quick look at the results. The results are, the observer system in an hour put out 70 bamboo. That's right, 70 bamboo. The redstone torch put out 57, and the chicken put out 60. Now, that's over an hour, and obviously, let's have a look here. They're pretty all similar, really. Obviously, the observer did put out more, and by a smallish margin. But really, in the long term, you think of how expensive an observer is compared to a humble chicken or a redstone torch. It's not actually that bad. And I would actually argue that for the expense of observers, I would argue there's a case to actually run with a redstone torch or a chicken powered model. Especially in early game, when you may not have got to the nether yet, or you're not feeling comfortable to go to the nether, or just don't want to go to the nether. I think you could still very easily set up an automatic farm with a chicken. Which leads me to the next question. What other farms can we make chicken powered? I'm smelling a redstone series here. If you'd be interested to see how else we can make chicken power work, leave a comment below, and we might explore this topic a bit more. But with that, Ducky, your challenge has been met, and we had a ton of fun, and hope you guys found it interesting. With that, we will see you next time. Bye-bye. A massive thank you to our wonderful patrons and supporters. Your support is very much appreciated and will allow us to improve our content for your enjoyment. You can find us on Patreon, link in the description below.